There is one very important question that Kenyans need to ask themselves about the current corruption manenos. Where did all this information on corruption come from? Did it come from the opposition? Of course not. The opposition is dead. There's currently a handshake in place. Currently, the opposition is not actively exposing corruption in the country. Did it come from some whistleblower? Nope, it didn't. Actually, all the information that is now streaming out, very damning evidence, very damning information against some certain people and how they looted government. All this information came, wait for this one, from the government of the Republic of Kenya. Yep, that's the truth. Now I can already hear one of you telling me, Kumekucha, you're confusing me. You want to tell me that the government exposed itself, that the government blew the whistle on itself, exposed its own rot inside its own government, inside its own administration. Get serious, Chris. That can't be true. Well, it is. In fact, even if you don't believe me, observe something else. We're witnessing unprecedented cooperation between the fourth estate, that is the media, and government in revealing corruption within government. Salala. Now I'm giving you a few seconds to get over your shock, and immediately after the short upcoming commercial break, I'll break it down for you and bring logic where currently there seems to be no logic. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, if I was one of the 36 bloggers, I would be very worried. Okay? Why would I be worried? Because what we have seen in the past is that when the government wants to push forward an agenda, when the government wants to push forward something, they would use the 36 bloggers. Now, here's a case where we're seeing the government achieve something that the 36 bloggers never achieved. Headline news in all the newspapers, leading newspapers in the country. Media houses can talk about nothing else. We are having primetime news allocate over 15 minutes to corruption. Even social media can talk about nothing else. Okay? And even Kumekucha is talking about corruption. In fact, Kumekucha cannot get other topics. He's just talking about corruption. The long and short of it is that somebody in government has proved that the government does not actually need the services of the 36 bloggers to push forward the agenda. Now, the government has a lot of information, a lot of very explosive information. So all the government needs to do is to select the information they want to release, leak out that information to the media, and then that information just get a life of its own and take over the entire narrative in our country, Kenya. And so what would you need the 36 bloggers for? Now, of course, the 36 bloggers have come out and said, at least their leader has, that nothing has changed. They're still powerful. They're still doing what they're supposed to do. Well, now the evidence tells us something different. So what is really happening here? Why should the government be at the forefront of exposing corruption? Okay, let's go back to the chessboard. Let's go back to the political chessboard. Now, remember the last time we talked about that chessboard, what had happened is that Mike Sonko made a move. Mike Sonko and the people behind him. Okay, Mike Sonko nominated Miguna as his deputy governor. Now, that single move put the government on the spot, because the whole idea was to get the country talking about the subject of Miguna. Why is he not in the country? Why was he picked up from his house and kicked out of the country? And you'll remember, I said that's the kind of move you make before the checkmate move, before the final move to finish your opponent. Well, the government has made its move. When we thought that the other side is finished, they have made a move. And oh my, what a devastating move. By leaking out this information on corruption, the effect is going to be devastating, because it's going to position the current Jubilee government as a government which fights against corruption and is serious about it. And we have seen how serious they are. Bwana Dubai, the head of the NYS, was picked up past midnight. He was picked up at night. Now, what is very interesting here is what some of these people are saying as they were being picked up, because they just didn't go quietly. These are very powerful people. Indeed, they were being picked up. Some of them were being picked up in very leafy parts of town, very plush areas of Nairobi, where the rich, the mighty, and the powerful live. Now, what is interesting, some of these people said, wait, I'm going to call the Director General of the Police. Indeed, some of them even tried to raise President Uhuru Kenyatta on the phone. Wah. Well, they still got arrested. And you know, this illustrates what I keep on saying on this channel. Even if you're taking orders, even if you're taking instructions, do only what can stand the test of time. Because in politics is about betrayal. Yes, the person supporting you is very powerful. Yes, the person who's your friend is the most powerful person in Kenya. Yes, so far you have been untouchable. In fact, yesterday when you went to bed and slept very soundly, because you knew you are untouchable. That whatever campaign against corruption is going on, you will never ever be touched. That is the thinking you went to bed with. Oh, you wake up in the morning, rather you don't even wake up. You're rudely woken up in the middle of the night. Police officers at your gate to arrest you. How? Well, it's normal in politics. We call it the tissue paper syndrome. Okay? Tissue paper is very valuable. When you're going to the toilet, tissue paper is your friend. Yeah? And then what happens next? When you finish using the tissue paper, yeah, mark my words, yeah, the keywords here, when you finish using the tissue paper. When you finish using the tissue paper, it's stinking. So you throw it down the toilet and you flush it down the toilet. Indeed, you violently flush it down the toilet. So, always remember something, because tomorrow you could be appointed to a very senior position in government. Tomorrow, you could be a very powerful person, taking instructions from very powerful people. My advice, keep tissue paper always in sight, in your office, where you're seated. In your trappings of power, weka tissue paper karibu. Why? To remind you of the nature of politics. And I'm not talking about Kenyan politics. I'm talking about politics since the beginning of time. Politics all over the world. If I can give you a very quick example from the United States of America. When it was decided that America must invade Iraq, yeah, excuses were created that actually Iraq is building up capabilities of nuclear weapons. Okay? And experts all over the world said no. But some other experts came up and said yes. We have evidence. The UN is wrong. The US is right. Now, when finally the truth came to light, because the truth always comes to light, it could take 100 years, it could take 1 year, but the truth will always come out. Yeah, mark my words, the truth always comes out. So when the truth came out, yeah, via one very brave whistleblower, in fact, they've made a movie, yeah, covering this particular incident, which I took in, and it was very interesting. But that's a story for another day. When the whistle was blown, what happened? Tissue paper syndrome. The people who mooted this plan, the people who made the decision to go forward with this plan, were not arrested. They did not lose their jobs. The people who were used as sacrificial lambs were officials within that administration. They did a very good job, yeah, for their bosses. They followed instructions from their bosses to the letter, yeah. But when you finish using valuable tissue paper, I mean, if you went into a toilet and you don't have tissue paper, you'd panic, yeah, assuming you're not a Muslim. You'd panic. Wah, manze, sina tissue? Ay. But once you've finished using the tissue paper, the thing is smelly. It stinks. Yeah? You know, while you have conjured your face in disgust, you throw it down the toilet and you flush violently to make sure it goes. If it's not flushed correctly, you're angry. So you look for other means. Maybe you'll get a bucket and pour water inside your toilet. That tissue paper must disappear, must go. Yeah, that, my friends, is life. All those public officials who are very arrogant, who are busy harassing Kenyans, breaking the law, yeah, ignoring court orders, take careful note. In fact, I suggest, rush into a supermarket, buy tissue paper, and put it next to your desk. Put them all in front of your desk, so that you never forget that whatever you do, however powerful you are, however untouchable you are, the tissue paper syndrome will always catch up with you. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.